Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 1 of our Revell Monogram 64.5 Mustang Convertible kit. Bruce sent me this kit out because he knew I wanted to build this for quite a long time, and our Ollies just did not have it. So let's get into what we got going on here. I'll start everybody's at the show today, but I'll let you know what our plans are, and even the dogs are excited, and what we got done so far. Excuse me, Zach, or Chandler, I'm sorry. Let's start with the body. Since over here on my board I have start with the body. I glued in the front and back clips already, sanded them nice and smooth. We got rid of that mold line that really wasn't that bad. More on the drops here for the windows than anything else. But that sanded off real nice, and it was easy to do. The front clip and back clip fit in there real good. The hood needed a little bit of work, but not a whole lot, and I'll show you what I had to do here. So first thing I was told, hey, if you want to make your life easier, snip a little bit off of the one hinge, leave the other one long, snip a little bit off of this side, and that way you can get it to, I don't have my visor on, I can hardly see, but you can get it to drop in here. I'm saying it, I can't do it. But you can get it to drop in, and then it'll fit, and it'll still hinge. So what a great idea. I've only been doing this for 55 years, and I didn't come up with it. So, but the only thing I had to do on here was a very, very fine sanding on either side, and right here on both sides of the hinges, I had to come in with my knife, come in straight and over this way, and cut that little, it was a little radius there that was pushing this off out away from the front and making it to where there was had big gaposis in there. So now it fits in there nice and tight, as you saw, and looks really good. The underside, I had 4 very prominent mold lines, or pin extrusion marks. They were all sticking out, so I came with my saw blade holder, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before either, but I took an old blade and flipped it around backwards and put it in here and locked it in, and one side of this is nice and smooth, but the other side this side's the smooth side. The other side, where the stamp came down to stamp this out, has just a tiniest of burr on there. And just taking that and running it over top of this, you can hear it. Bring it up here. But just running it over the top, that burr, see how that digs in there, and it sands that off nice and flat. So I did that to all 4 of those and got them cleared up. The roof had one that stuck up way up. I had to cut it off first and then scrape it down. And then I have 2 of them that are sunk in. And to be honest with you, I'm not even gonna mess with filling them in, because this is gonna be sitting this way, and you're never, ever, 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 ever gonna see that on there. When this is all done, that'll just blend right in. So we're just going to leave that go and look at and leave it like that. This car will, for the most part, have the vinyl roof, or the convertible roof up on it, because I told you I was going to tell you when I first started building it, this is going to be the light blue Mustang from Thunderball. Some days your brain just doesn't want to fire on all thrusters. But it's the light blue Firebird. So in James Bond, it had it in the scene with the vinyl roof up. So we'll see. I'll probably have it to where I can do both, because I mean, it's easy enough. You don't have to glue it in place. It's just set on there. So what I might have to do though is make a little alignment pieces for this, because it really doesn't want to drop in here and hold very well inside the grooves. It just kind of floats. So I'll work with trying to bend it in a little bit here and there and form it. See how it goes when I get the glass on there too. If doing that helps pull that into where it drops in there and fits. But right now, it looks good. I may not even paint this, to be honest with you. I might just hit that with quick shine. It is molded very well and very evenly. So I think just a quick shot of quick shine, and then I'll come back and I'll do the metal braces if they're even on there. I haven't even looked online to see if those were metal or whether they were the same color as the car. So we'll have to find that out. I'm still digging into this thing. Again, the body. I love this body. I've never been a huge fan of the fastback. This is the body I like right here. So I was very excited to get hold of this thing. But she's looking real good. The interior, I've done extensive video watching and searching online and looking at pictures and things like that. This interior, I have finally decided, is going to be the dark blue, and I'll use Tamiya's blue on that. I think I have it right here. No, that's X4. This is what the body's going to be, right? No. This is the color. I'm going to do the interior this color. The seats, the sides, and all that is going to be this color. Now, in the movie, I had a heck of a time seeing if that was blue or black. And I watched it on the big TV. I even watched on the computer, stopped it, and blew it up. And when I blew it up, the back part of James Bond's seat, right up in here, looked dark blue and not black. And I wanted it to be blue, so I was searching like crazy to find that dark blue. Since I saw that, I was like, okay, good. I won't be thinking about it anymore. We're just going to go with the dark blue seats. These seats went together great. There is no lineup for the backs. You just have to put them on there and hold them in place. And with the Tamiya's extra thin glue, that was no problem. Just like I said before, make sure you designate driver's seat and passenger seat, because the chrome goes to the outside. So like on this one, the chrome's going to face this window, the chrome will face that window on the other one. So just something to think about. Dashboard is fairly detailed. The chrome insert, I was like, oh man, that's going to suck. Well, it didn't. And I'll show you when I get into the chrome here. I am going to put the center column in. I couldn't see one way or the other if it had it or not, so I like it, so I'm going to drop it. And the interior is going to be great. What I plan to do with the carpet now, and I've looked at a lot of blue interiors on these, and what I plan on doing with the carpet is taking the X4 and adding a drop or two of flat black. And what that'll do is that'll knock the gloss out of this. It'll also take it away from the blue going towards the black gray, which I've seen. These are a lot different. Now the rubber mat, I'm going to do black. But all the carpet I want to do with this mixed with a little bit of black. And like I said, that'll knock the shine off of it. And also dull the color away from the black or the blue. I think that'll look perfect with this. I still got to trim that back off. But I think that'll look perfect with this. And then this chrome line in here Man, I don't know. We'll shoot. I figure I'm going to have to paint this 2 or 3 times before I get it right. But I do want to be able to show that chrome in there because it is just the littlest of bling that the interior of this car had. It was a pretty basic car. It really was. But there is our interior. The frame, like I said, it fits underneath there. When I was fitting it underneath there, I realized that there's script work on here that needs to be sanded off, so I'll have to do that still. But it has the emergency brake lines run, and it has the fuel line run, like I showed in the unboxing. But I didn't see that right here, made in China. Thanks for putting it there and not on the inside where it disappears. But whatever. And we'll knock this out. I've looked online to see if this was painted the same color as the car. I've seen it 34 ways to Sunday, so I think I'm going to go with the black, semi-gloss black, and then the aluminum tank, and then we'll detail it up like I do and make it look good. This kit is not conducive to lighting at all, so I'm not going to do it. Here's the light blue. This is what's going to get painted on the body. Tell me that's not going to be awesome. This is my favorite color. Just Tamiya Sky Blue X14. So there is that. Our engine, again, did a ton of online work. Just looking at pictures and everything. This one I'm going to do, since they never showed the engine in the kit on the movie. I think I'm allowed to play and do whatever I want. It is my build after all. I'm going to do the black engine and transmission. The reason why I'm doing the black transmission along with the black engine is I watched a video where they pulled one of these out of a 64.5, and it looked like the original pull. And when they pulled it out, the transmission came out black too. So I thought, good enough for me. So I'm going to paint the whole thing with semi-gloss black, or maybe even gloss black. I'm not sure yet. Then we'll do the valve covers, the gold, and I want to show you the intake. Pop that off before I launch it. This is going to be gold too. This front piece will be semi-gloss black, but what I did is I drilled it out, and it was super easy to do with the little pin vices. I started with my next to smallest pin vise and just started working my way up, skipping every other one till I got to the biggest one. And then I jumped over to my next size, which is this, which was perfect for that. Any more, and I think I would be too thin. So that looks really good. I'm happy I did that. I did it twice, as a matter of fact. I was so happy to do it, I did it twice because there's 2 different air cleaners in this kit. I wasn't paying attention, and I did the other one first. So I was like, well, whatever. I got practice now, and did this one too. So I'm almost afraid of holding this with the alligator clips like this for fear that this thing's going to end up in the ceiling somewhere. So there's the engine. It's going to be great. The headers on this thing, or the exhaust, are flat plates that glue straight to the heads up top. So what I'm going to have to do once again is I'm going to have to drill all my holes, put all my wires in, run these over the wires, and then run the wires around the front. And I've never done a Ford video, and if you want me to, let me know. But I also have from Draco, he sent me these awesome 3D printed distributors. And it's a 2-piece. They're already have holes in them for the 0.3 millimeter solder. So, wow. And they're awesome. And he sent me a bunch of different sizes. So I just took the kit one and matched it up to this. This does sit just a little bit taller, but who's going to know? So there's two parts. Let me show you the second part of that, which is so cool. The bottom side of the distributor. Now this does stick up tall-wise way too high for this kit. I'm afraid it's going to come into contact with the hood. So I'm going to trim down this piece to where this snugs down onto the intake a little bit tighter. But check that out. It has the vacuum advance already drilled out, man. Talk about awesome. So now all I have to do is figure out on the carb where to run the vacuum advance line, and we'll get that in there. But little things like this kind of make it a pain. I like having the open exhaust, but I'm going to leave that on because the more surface area you can get, I'll take. So I'm going to what I'd really like to do is I'd like to drill these holes and then glue these on before I paint, just so these things have a good solid glue joint on there. Because it's inevitable when you're working with those wires that you pop it. So, and I think I can paint good enough to where I can get it painted. My only fear is not being able to get the wires in the number one hole, trying to get it around. So what I'll probably do is fudge this on to where it's sitting there, and then figure out where the holes are going to go. They're not going to be perfect, but I'll be able to feed it through. It's either that or I'm going to have to fish this on, scrape this off, and then glue that on, because this has to be solid as a rock or else it'll get broke off. I mean, it is what it is. So we'll work with that down the road. That'll be probably my next update or the update after that, where we do that. And remember, there's a bunch of parts that you don't need in here. So there's the engine. The engine's coming along strong. I'm really happy with it. Draco also sent me a really cool engine stand that I'll be building after I build I don't want to have too many things out here, but after I build this, I'll build that engine stand, and I'm telling you, that's going to be so cool to be working on these engines. I mean, really cool. So there's that. We'll look at the hubcaps and the grill and the lights, and I'll let you go here. The hubcaps, you know what? Let me see if I can come in on it. There we go. Get into that other lens. I think that's a better lens. But the hubcaps, the only thing I did was I did a panel lining on them. I did a heavy panel lining. I can't even bring it up now. But I did a heavy panel lining on those to darken them up like that. I said I wasn't going to use the knockouts because the one on the show did not have the knockouts. But this hole is so deep that I'm going to have to use them. I could try to fill that and rechrome it and match everything up and all that. But you know what? The knockouts are pretty cool, and they cleaned up well. I spent a little bit of time and filed them and sanded them and everything, and I think they'll be all right on there. So we'll go ahead and use them. I also got that mirror looking a lot better. I will get this glued up here early on, and I think I'm going to actually try to put a pin in there. Try to put a pin in there to better locate that on there and not bang it off. While I'm talking about it, I panel lined the little vent molding too while I was at it. So, but the hubcaps are sweet. I always liked those hubcaps on those Mustangs. So I did that, and then, let me spin this around. I got the grill done. And I did that with panel liner. and I looked at a bunch of pictures, and I looked at mine, and I looked at a bunch of pictures, and I hated mine. The panel liner just showed way too much chrome in there, and this thing doesn't show any chrome on any of the pictures that I saw. It's very dark, and then the horsey shows up really great. I mean, that Mustang in the middle really is molded in there well, and this whole kit is molded well. It's supposed to be an older model, but I think Round 2 got a hold of it and cleaned up the molds. Somebody's had to have done something with them, because I'm telling you, they're pretty clean as a whistle, and the detail is pretty sharp too. But the grill came out good. I'm happy with that now. And what I ended up doing is, instead of panel liner, is I just used acrylic black over top of the panel liner, thinned out just a tiny bit so it was still thick, but not as thick as out of the bottle, so it'd still flow a little bit. And it's still, you can still see the little octagons in there, but they're not showing the chrome like they did. So win on that one. Taillights, I hit them with just Tamiya's clear, thick coat of Tamiya. I floated it in there, to be honest with you. I got my little brush, loaded it on there, and as I was putting it in, I was kind of holding it back just a bit so it wasn't on the part. But the surface tension was pulling the paint off the brush, and it filled that. And that way I got it to where it went all the way up on both sides like that, and gave me a good result. I've tried doing that before, where you just kind of put the paint in there and you paint it on like you normally would, and it never worked right. So I started doing the float method like that, where you put extra on. You just got to watch. Seriously, I had my hand down here to stabilize myself while I did it with my head this far away from the part. There's no way I'd ever be able to do a video on how I do those. I don't know how people show videos while they're working anyhow, because my head's so close to this stuff all the time. But that flowed in there real nice and did a good job. The front turn signals, I used Tamiya's clear orange and did the same thing. I put it in there really heavy. I floated it in there real heavy. And then just today I came back and I put a little tiny bit of black panel liner in there with my new bottle of black panel liner. Now I got to talk about that just for a second. I know I'm going off track again, and if you're tired of it, you can go ahead and leave. But here's something to think about. As I've used this panel liner for the past 4 years, it's slowly thickened up. And I didn't even realize it until I got a new one, because this brush is to the point to where it just wasn't getting into where I had to almost shake it to get some on the brush. And that's why I got a new one. And I figured as this one wears down, I'll pour this into that. And it's not like it's going to be a loss. But this is a little bit thicker than this is. So now I have the opportunity of, if I want something like my hubcaps, where I want a good thick coat, I'm using my older stuff. And it comes off, and it's really a lot thicker than this. And you can really tell the difference. So I was surprised. I didn't expect that until I started using this. And like on the lights, the thin worked out really good. It went in there, rang around there real quick. I didn't even have to touch it with a Q-tip. The backup lights, I did my flat black again, and then just today I came in and I hit them with the thin panel liner. I'm going to let that sit for a day, maybe 2, and then I'll come back and I'll put just a tiny drop of quick shine in there to give it the gloss plastic lens look, and we'll be good to go there. I used the thin on the gas cap. Mistake. I'll use the thick on that too and see if I can darken it up. If I can't, I'm going to end up using the accent, and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do the red and the blue, the red and the blue on the 2 on that. But we'll see. So there is that. Oh, geez, Pete. The gauges. These drop into the dashboard. And like I said, I was kind of bummed out. It was just a big blob of chrome. But then with the accent or the acrylics, semi-thick, but thin enough to flow. I came in here and I painted around where the black was. I used my thin panel liner on, this thing's probably jumping in and out of focus like crazy. I used my thin panel liner on the inside of the gauges. And I let that dry. And then today I came back with my Prismacolor pencil. This is just my white. I sharpened it up a little bit. I kind of ran it around inside on those gauges to turn them that white. Oh, I hope that comes in focus, because you can actually read the numbers on the speedometer. So I did that, and then I took a really, 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 really sharpened toothpick, and I did the red on the gauges, and then I took my 5/0 that I need to replace because it's falling apart already. I went to look at it because somebody asked me which one, and I told them don't buy it, and they said which one is it, and I went to look at it and it's gone. So but I used the 5/0 on these to make them red. Once that dries, I will come back with smoke, Tamiya's clear smoke, and darken those up a little bit so they don't stand out like a sore thumb, because they didn't in the car. But there we go. I'm tickled to death with that. One of the better gauge clusters. And again, it's because the mold is so sharply done that you can get away with doing stuff like that. So there we go. I hope to get in paint for our next update, which should be Sunday, maybe. And I'll bring you back then. So with this, I will let you go. All the crew, Jake and Daisy, say thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow.